Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, today we are going to discuss the sixth lecture of our second year, and we have started chapter 16, and which is about the hydrocarbons. So in today's lecture, I will discuss about the alkenes. So first I will focus on the nomenclature of the alkenes, then their relative stabilities, then a little bit discussion about the structure, and then very important article about the preparation of the alkenes, and then detailed discussion about the chemical reactions of the alkene. So I will discuss one of them, and we will discuss the remaining reaction in the next lecture. So first move to the nomenclature of the alkene. So in the last lecture, we discussed about the nomenclature of the alkanes, and the basic rule in writing the name of a molecule. The first rule was to select the longest continuous chain of the carbon atom. So same is the case. So in this case, we will select that longest continuous chain containing the double bond is selected as the parent chain. So we will select that longest chain which contains the double bond. For example, if you look over here, we have two molecules. So we have to decide which one is the longest chain. So if we select this longest chain, so it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons, and we say this is the longest chain because they contain the 5 carbon atoms. And in this case, if we say this is the longest chain and they contain 4 carbon atoms, but this will be corrected one. So this will be selected. Why? Because this longest chain contains a carbon-carbon double. So this is the parent chain containing the double bond. So this is our correct decision of the longest chain as compared to this one. And for the alkanes, we use the name ANE, but for the alkene, the ending of the alkane ANE is replaced by the ENE. For example, butene, pentene, hexene, like this one. And the third rule, the chain is numbered. So as we discussed previously, first we select the longest chain, then we will number. So the chain is numbered in such a manner so as to give the minimum number to the doubly bonded carbon atoms. Means we will number from that side where double bond is nearest. So we must keep in mind. The next, the position of double bond is indicated by the lower number of carbon atoms. For example, we have these two structures over here. So we can say this is the double bond. So this is carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, and carbon number 4. So we can't say that this is the 2 alkene. We will use the lower number. So we will use the lower number. So that's why I said the position of double bond is indicated by the lower number. So this is correct. So this is the 1 alkene. It means this double bond is present between 1 and 2 carbon atom, and we will use this smaller number. So the lower number of carbon atom is placed before the name of the parent alkene. It means this is the butene. So I will say 1 butene. So we will use the number before this alkene. And if there is a possibility that we have more than one double bond, the presence of more than one double bond is indicated by the word diene for 2 double bonds, triene for 3 double bonds, and so on. So these are some rules. Then the basic rules are similar, just like the alkane. We select the longest chain, number 1, containing the double bond. Number 2, we will number, and we will number from that side where the double bond is the nearest. And number 3, we will give the name of the branches. And similarly, just like the alkyl chain, we will give the name of the substituent like this. So we have some example. Look at that. We have one more example. So this C means they all have the 3 hydrogens. So this is CH3 over here. This is the CH. So we will select the longest chain, and as I said previously, so this is our longest chain. So four, it means this is one butene. This is the parent chain, and it has two branches. One carbon over here. One carbon means methyl, and it has two carbon means ethyl. So it means this is one butene, but having two branches, methyl as well as the ethyl. So I will name this molecule. So before in alphabetical order. So I will write 2 ethyl, 3 methyl, 1 butene. So this will be the name of this molecule. Similarly, these are the two examples which are given in your quiz or in your exercise, in your practice part of the book. So this is one of the molecule. So we will number from that side where the double bond is the nearest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if I move from the right side, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. It means again this double bond is present between 3 and 4 carbon. So either way is suitable. So if I number from the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It means this is 3-hexene. The parent chain is 3-hexene, and it has 4 branches: 1-methyl, 2-methyl, 3-methyl, and 4-methyl. It means we have the tetramethyl. So we have to mention the carbon number as well. So 2, 5, 5, tetramethyl 3-hexene. So this will be the name of this molecule. And look at this molecule. We have 2 double bonds. Because we have 2 double bonds, so it will be diene. So first we number. So we will number from the left. Why? Because the carbon double bond is at the number 1 position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is a 1 and this is a 3. So double bond is present at carbon number 1 at carbon number 3. And this is pentane. So this is pentadienes because they have the 2 double bonds. So pentadiene. So this is about the nomenclature, the naming of the organic molecule containing the double bond. Next, move to the stability of the alkene. So alkene, we know that this is the double bond. So their stability can be discussed by 3 ways. Number 1, the degree of substitution. So for example, this is the molecule, this is the carbon-carbon double bond. So this is a tetra substituted. So it has 4 groups attached with this alkene. So according to a rule, and there is some rule, Hoffman rule like this one, that more substituted alkene, that is the favored. So this is a tetra substituted, mean this is more favored or more stable as compared to tri-substituted, mean if we have the 3 groups over here, then di-substituted, and the last one is the mono-substituted. So degree of substitution give the stability of the alkene. Second is the stereochemistry, mean the geometry of the molecule. So if we have the alkene, so these 2 groups, if these are not the hydrogen, we have some carbon. So this is the methyl and this is also the methyl. If these are on the opposite side, this is called the transalkene. And if these 2 groups are on the same side of double bond, they are called as the cisalkene. So the transalkene, it means transalkene, they are more stable than the cis. The reason is, so these 2 groups, if they are on the same side, they causes some repulsion. So they cause some electronic repulsion. So that's why in this trans form, these 2 groups are in the opposite situation. So this alkene is more stable. The number 3rd is a new topic, a new heading for you. This is the conjugated alkenes are more stable than isolated. So conjugated means we will discuss in the next topic. So this is one of the molecule, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1,3-butadiene. This kind of molecule having alternate double bond, single bond, double bond. Such kind of situation is called as conjugation. And such molecules are called as conjugated molecules. So in this case, this molecule is conjugated. So because of the conjugation, the molecule become more stable. So we will discuss later on in the next lecture that what are the conjugated and isolated bond. So this 1,3-butadiene is more stable than 1,2-butadiene. So reason is the conjugation. So this is the stability of the alkene. Next, if we go to structure, and we know that this is a double bond between two carbon atoms, so each carbon of this alkene, that is sp2 hybridized. And after the sp2 hybridization, we have three hybrid orbitals. So they overlap with each other to make a sigma bond. So this carbon having three hybrid orbitals, one will overlap with this hydrogen, second will overlap with this hydrogen, and the third will overlap with this carbon and make a sigma bond. So this carbon-carbon is a sigma bond. This carbon-hydrogen, they all are sigma bond. And we know that each carbon contains two p orbital, which is the unhybridized, and they are parallel to each other, and they overlap and they make the double bond. So this is the pi bond. So this bond length, this is shorter because of this double bond as compared to alkane. So this is about 1.34 angstrom. So this is the shorter bond length as compared to the alkane. So this is about the structure of the alkene and this molecule. So this bond angle is 120 and this is a planar shape. So this double bonded alkene, a carbon, this is a planar shape, and because of this sp2 hybridization. So this is about the structure of the alkene. Then if we move to the preparation, so different methods are available for the preparation of the alkene, and very well known two famous methods we are going to discuss over here. The first is the dehydration of alcohol. So these two methods, they are similar or the same method which are given in the 10th class. So this is just only the revision and little bit more explanation. So dehydration of the alcohol, D mean removal, hydration mean water. So removal of water from the alcohol, we can make the alkene. So this is the elimination or removal of water from the alcohol. So this removal of water is called as dehydration. So in this case, this is the molecule alcohol, they have the OH as a functional group. So this carbon which is attached to the OH, this is called alpha carbon, and the next carbon is called as the beta carbon. So OH removed from the alpha carbon and hydrogen removed from the beta carbon. So this removal of water and there is a double bond. So alkene is formed. And we choose some dehydrating agent, for example, aluminium oxide at 340 to 450 degrees centigrade. Similarly, we can also use some more dehydrating agents, for example, P4O10, H2SO4, H3PO4. They are also used for the dehydration. So generally we know in the books we use the concentrated sulfuric acid for the dehydration. And this ease of dehydration of various alcohol, it depends on the structure. We have three kinds of alcohol. One is called as the primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, and tertiary alcohol. So this alcohol in which the carbon which is attached to the functional group is directly linked with one carbon. Such kind of alcohol is called as the primary alcohol. So for ease of dehydration, so tertiary alcohol, they are going to under dehydration very easily as compared to secondary, and this will undergo dehydration easily as compared to the primary. So this is the primary alcohol. For the secondary alcohol, this is secondary alcohol, the carbon which is attached to the functional group is directly linked with two carbons. So this is called secondary alcohol, and for that purpose we use 75% sulfuric acid for dehydration. So this is the OH, and one of the hydrogen replaced from here, you are getting the double bond over. So there is another possibility that hydrogen can remove and we can get double bond over here as well. So anyhow, at the moment we have this alkene, and for the tertiary alcohol, the carbon which is attached with the functional group is directly linked with three carbons, such called as the tertiary alcohol. So in this case we use 20% sulfuric acid. It means we are using little quantity of sulfuric acid and it is undergoing the dehydration. That's why we said the ease of dehydration is tertiary alcohol more easy, then secondary, and the least one is the primary alcohol. So this is the dehydration of alkene and dehydration of the alcohol for the synthesis of the alkenes. And we said this is the order of dehydration. So tertiary, the reason is the way of the mechanism. So in the tertiary alcohol, the mechanism which are going to make, which is through this reaction takes place, they make more easily alkene as compared to the secondary as well as the primary. Next, the second method, that is the dehydrohalogenation of alkyl halides. Alkyl halides mean when any alkyl group is attached with a halogen, that is called as alkyl halide. So removal of, so D mean removal, hydro mean hydrogen and halogen. So removal of hydrogen and halogen from alkyl halide, that is called as dehydrohalogenation. So this is one of the example. So in the previous slide, this was OH, but now it is the X, mean any halogen. So again, this is the alpha carbon, this is the beta carbon. So halogen with hydrogen. So HX, removal of HX, and we're getting the double bond over here. This is called dehydrohalogenation. And for that purpose, we use the alcoholic KOH, mean we use the potassium hydroxide in alcohol. So it will remove the hydrogen and halide, and we will get the double bond over. So for example, this is the ethyl bromide and alcohol KOH. So it is HBr is going to remove, and we are getting the alkene. So this K will combine with Br, make the KBr, and this H will combine with OH and make the water. So this is another example. So this is the propyl bromide. So KBr and OH will remove the hydrogen from the adjacent carbon atom. That's why we will get the double bond between two carbon atoms. So the H and Br, this is the removal from the adjacent carbon atom. So this is called as dehydrohalogenation. So there are various methods for the preparation of alkene, but in your book, these two methods are given. Next, move to the reactions, reactivity. So in the alkane, we know that was all a sigma bond, and it was very stable. So that was not going to easily react with the electrophile as well as the nucleophile, not even oxidizing agents like this one. But now in the alkene, and yes, in the alkane that was saturated, so there was only substitution reaction. But here we have a double bond, mean one sigma bond as well as the pi bond. So this pi bond is weak than sigma bond. So it requires less energy to break the pi bond. So it will require little energy and the pi bond will break. So when pi bond will break, it means we can add something. So as I said, this pi bond needs little energy. So this undergoes some addition reactions. Because this double bond is unsaturated, so addition can take place. Mean pi bond will break and something going to add into that. So this means this alkene, they show the addition reaction. And this addition reaction is not a simple method. This addition takes place by some special mechanism that is called as electrophilic addition. And we will discuss later on. Electrophilic addition means they will attack, the double bond will attack on the electrophile first. So it involves the change of pi bond to sigma bond through addition reaction. So this slide is very important to discuss the reactivity of alkene. So the most of the reaction of the alkene, they are addition reaction, because double bond will break and they convert it to the single. So the first reaction, which is of the alkene, that is the hydrogenation. So hydrogenation means addition of hydrogen. So a process in which a molecule of hydrogen is added to an alkene in the presence of catalyst and at a moderate pressure to give a saturated compound is known as catalytic hydrogenation. In other words, I say that hydrogenation means addition of hydrogen. And there is an exothermic process. So a lot of energy is released, and that is called as heat of hydrogenation. So this, the catalyst which we use for the hydrogenation are platinum, palladium, or Raney nickel. So the Raney nickel, they are used for the hydrogenation. So this Raney nickel that is prepared by treating nickel aluminum alloy with caustic soda. Caustic soda means sodium hydroxide. So by reacting this one, we produce the hydrogen. So this hydrogen, which is produced during a reaction, that is called as Raney nickel. So this hydrogen is used for the hydrogenation. So this is one of the example. So there's a double bond. So hydrogen. So one hydrogen will add to this carbon atom. The second hydrogen will add to this carbon atom, and double bond will change to the single. Similarly, we can see this is the benzene. They has a 3 double bond. It means the 3 molecule of hydrogen will add. Because for 1 double bond, we use 1 molecule. For 3 double bond, we will use 3 molecule, and it converted into the cyclohexane. And we use the hydrogen, which is produced by the Raney nickel. So this is the method for the hydrogenation. So this hydrogenation is very useful for industrial point of view, because it can be used for the conversion of oil into the ghee by the hydrogenation, because oil is unsaturated and is converted to saturated by the addition of hydrogen in the presence of nickel. So these are some topics which we discussed today. So first we move towards the nomenclature of the alkene, then their stability, structure of the alkene, and then I discussed 2 methods for the preparation of the alkene, and 1 method and 1 chemical reaction of this alkene. So in the next lecture, we will discuss in detail the different reactions of the alkene. So if you have any question, you can ask me in the comment box. Thanks.